Chapter 4. Scott's Friend. Scott got home and brought his things outside. He whistled the dragon call after a few tries and licking of his lips. He started on his homework. Sure enough, Skardik soon landed in his yard with a big thump! "Hello," Scott said casually. He spoke as if the two had known each other for years. He was still excited that he could merely whistle, as soon a dragon would be right there with him. "Hello," Skardik replied cheerfully. "I was expecting you would call, mate," he said. "You were?" said Scott inquisitively. "You think I'm impressive. You like being around me, I can tell," said Skardik. This was exactly right. "I guess," Scott confessed. Skardik flopped down on his side and yawned, showing his huge teeth. Scott grabbed his book bag and ran over. He sat down and leaned against Skardik's soft, warm belly. He started on his homework. "What's that?" asked Skardik, nudging Scott's homework. "It's called homework. I have to do it to learn," Scott replied. "You need to do that to learn?" asked Skardik. Scott then tried to explain homework to Skardik. "I don't think you have to have homework to learn," was the final statement by Skardik. "I learned a lot. I know a lot about humans, too," he said. "How old are you?" asked Scott. 357, says Skardik. "Well, I won't live nearly as long as you. I have to learn faster," said Scott. That settled it. Scott soared through math and science, and then he came to geography. Now, Scott was not good at geography, nor did he like it. He never had ever gotten anything beyond a C+ in geography. He tried to think, but his mind didn't like it. He finally just decided to ask Skardik, to see what he would say. "Which is not an Australian city, Bathurst, Orange, or Mogadishu?" he asked. Skardik thought a moment. "Mogadishu," he said. "Mogadishu is in Africa, not Australia." Scott went inside and got the world map. He came back outside and looked. Skardik was right. Mogadishu was the capital of Somalia. He looked at Skardik. He had a smile on his face. Scott continued his homework. Skardik was of great help in geography. How he knew all of it, Scott had no idea. When he mentioned this, Skardik only chuckled. Scott finally finished his homework and put it on the porch. He came back and sat down. "So, where are you from?" asked Scott. "I'm from Australia. Can't you hear my voice, mate?" said Skardik. "Oh, that reminds me. How on earth did you learn to talk?" "Oh, a human taught me. You aren't the first human I've met," Skardik replied. "Then why were you scaring me yesterday?" asked Scott. "Scaring you? Where did you get that idea?" asked Skardik. "Well, I guess I was just scared because I didn't know you. You looked scary because you were different and, big," Scott replied. Skardik yawned. "Oh, well," he said. "I was living in my own cave. I was 164 years old at the time, so I was pretty young. One day a young man, came into my cave looking for shelter. Not seeing me, his clothes were torn and raggedy, and he was thin as a finger. When I came out to investigate, the man nearly ran for his life, but I took pity and stopped him. Then I gave him a large portion of food to eat. He looked at me, then he started gorging himself. I got myself some food and ate that, and what he'd eaten ate. I then led him to the place where I slept and invited him to stay with me. He ended up accepting, and he just stayed there. I fed him, and I gave him a place to sleep. Soon he started teaching me human lips. I quickly learned, and then I taught him dragon's lips. Before long, he was riding me. We had a very happy time. I was very sad when he died." Then Scott said solemnly, "Did you eat him?" Skardik laughed. "I love you." He laughed very loudly indeed. Scott felt embarrassed. He then decided to just laugh too. "No, humans are disgusting. I'd rather eat my tail, said Skardik. When his laughing had somewhat subsided, "Ha ha ha ha! Ah! You have nothing to worry about." "What did you do with him?" asked Scott. "I buried him," said Skardik. "I wouldn't eat for a week." Scott was amazed. "You can go a week without food?" he asked. "Mm-hmm. I've gone for longer than that. I only eat once or twice a day," Skardik replied. This was reasonable. Scott usually ate that many times a day, too. "Oh, I almost forgot," said Scott. "What?" Skardik said. "My friends, they met dragons too," Scott said. Skardik lifted his head. "When? Where?" "Just yesterday," Scott replied. "In this very town. Isn't that awesome?" "Wow," said Skardik. "I didn't know there were more dragons around. I would have searched for them a long time ago if I'd known." Scott took a moment to just think about it. 3 best friends, the same age, met 3 friendly dragons on the same day. "So, do you think it's a coincidence or what?" asked Scott. "Coincidence? Quite wild coincidence," said Skardik. "You couldn't have made me plan that for life. It's wonderful." "Yes, it is," Scott replied. "And it will be good to have some of my own kind around here. I don't usually get to spend time talking to anybody, well, except you, mate. But I imagine living in a place with no other humans. You had to make your own home, food, everything. Then meet this small, strange creature who's kind. Once hunted you, and it wants to talk with you," was Skardik's lengthy statement. "Yeah, sounds pretty weird. Am I a nuisance to you?" said Scott inquisitively. "Oh no," Skardik replied. "You're not a bother, mate. It's just you're the only living thing to talk to. I didn't mean to offend you." Scott felt better. This dragon understood. "Is it queer to have a small creature just come and talk to you?" he said. "Yes, I'll give you that," said Skardik. "It is rather strange. I do enjoy having to talk to you. I thoroughly enjoy it, little one, truly." "Skardik," said Scott. The dragon replied. "Are you my friend?" said Scott hopefully. "Well, you seem to be relatively harmless, especially because you're a child, and I think I like you. You're kind, and you're harmless. I guess there's nothing wrong with being friends," said Skardik. Scott's face lit up like 1,000 light bulbs. Thank you very much. Wow," said Scott. He had met a dragon, named it, and now they were friends. His smile made Skardik smile too. The dragon gently nuzzled Scott, and he giggled. He was so happy. I think that you're the most fun I've had in a long time, mate," said Skardik. Scott thanked him again. "And you know what else I think? You are very brave. You come and plop yourself right on my belly and enjoy a peaceful, cheery conversation before you find out I don't eat people. That's very brave of you." Scott snuggled up against the dragon's warm, inviting belly and sighed. The dragon wrapped his tail around the little human and curled up. And they remained like this in a few minutes of contented silence. "Skardik, you're really cool, you know that?" said Scott. Skardik chuckled. "Thank you. I'm glad you think I'm cool," he said. Scott looked at his watch. It was 5:30. Time for Skardik to get home. They embraced each other. And Scott bid Skardik goodbye. "Goodbye, mate," the dragon happily replied. He then whistled something, and he blew off. The two were friends, and they were both satisfied with that. This was the day Scott never thought possible. Scott had never thought any of this was possible. But some things we don't think are possible are, just like Scott becoming good friends with the dragon.